Welcome to Mhondoro Ngezi once again. Here I'm going to show you the deep tank, the Ngezi deep tank. This is called Ngezi deep tank because it's constructed just along Ngezi River, close to Ngezi River. We used to fetch water from the river to fill the deep tank. We had a lot of stock here in Mhondoro Ngezi, but unfortunately due to a devastating catastrophe that we faced sometime last year, but one up to last year, the herd of cattle in this community reduced so drastically to the extent that some families, including my family, are left with nothing, no cattle, no cow at all. But some who are very fortunate were left with few cows. And this is the deep tank where we used to dip our cattle. So I'm gonna show you something here, the development that we had and how human influence is actually happening to thwart the development efforts that people who are leading in this community are actually doing. As you can see, the pile of rocks there, this is the deep tank that was constructed, and I am gonna show you the deep tank right now. Remember, we had enough infrastructure in this deep tank. There was a pump which was actually pumping water from the river, filling the deep tank whenever we wanted to dip our cattle. There was a pump there. It was vandalized. Not even a pipe is left here. People vandalized, stole everything, and we are only left with these rocks. If people could have an opportunity of stealing these rocks, I tell you guys, they would have been stolen long back. But if you steal a rock, what then would you do with it? We have people who vandalize it, or who vandalize things, who do not want development at all. So this is the deep tank. As you can see, there is plenty of water in it. It is filled to capacity. Whenever we came here to dip our cattle, we actually didn't want water which is much like this. As you can see, that step, we have got 3 steps going downwards. So the water, if it is that we are going to dip our cattle right now, we then have to take off some of the water here so that we leave at least 3 steps here. So the level at which the water is right now is actually too much. It's because of the rains, of course. Mind you, if I tell you this deep tank had roof, it had metal roof, and the metal sheets were stolen. There is nothing that is left here. The metal sheets were stolen, and I don't even know where they are. The person who stole these metal sheets was tracked and he was found. Somebody took custody of them, and I don't know if those metal sheets are still there. Look at this. Look at this tank. This tank is actually the one that was used to fill the water. As you can see, it is metered. It is metered 400 liters, 800 liters, 1200 liters, 1600 liters. I don't know if they are liters or cubic centimeters, but it should be liters. This would be filled first, and you see that opening is the one that was now going to pour the water inside here. So that was going to feed into the deep tank. So this is Ngezi deep tank where we used to dip our cattle, and this has long not been used because of the situation that we are having here. The situation that we have here. So this is Ngezi deep tank. We used to have a lot. There was enough infrastructure here, but it was actually vandalized, left with these rocks. So this has not been used for quite a long time, just because we no longer have cattle here. We no longer have cattle here. So I want to show you. So what would happen then is people would come with their cattle, and they would move their cattle into that space. You see that space? this is the first kraal where people would put their where people would drive their cattle in here, and from this point they will be screened, and they will pass through this space, then into this whole area, where they would then be pushed and dive into the pool, which of course would have the medicine that kills tick. So this is Ngezi deep tank. These poles, I tell you, are the only thing that are left, and as you can see, we had these covering this first area, which the animals would go, where the cattle would go first before entering into the one that is surrounded by rocks. And as you can see, we now have wooden poles and some trees that are used to make this crow first, to make this first crow. Why is it that we have this? We had these poles, but these poles were stolen and we were left with nothing. But because we wanted our cattle to be dipped in here, we had to improvise and use those trees to make this grow. So this is Ngezi deep tank, guys, where we use to dip our cattle. And like I said, unfortunately we no longer use it just because we don't have cattle here. So I'm gonna show you the river soon, where we used to fetch water that would then dip into this kettle. Like I said, we had enough infrastructure here. We had a pump which used to pump water from the river. I don't know, let me try if I can go and show you the river from the pond that we used to fetch water. We had a pump that used to draw water from the river, feeding into that small tank that we had seen there, which would then fed into the deep tank. But unfortunately, we had people who actually vandalized this infrastructure, and we were left with nothing. But because we wanted our cattle to dip, we now used to carry water with the buckets, coming and filling that that deep tank. Now let me show you the point in the river where we used to fetch water. Just come here. I don't know why this opening is closed, but we used to carry our buckets through this place or through this path, fetch water from the river, and then from the river we would then come with the water and fill the deep tank. We had nothing, but unfortunately we've got people who vandalize this stuff. The poles are no longer there. The engine we cannot talk of. I don't even know where a single part of that engine is. So we are going down the river here as I am showing you. Yes, so this is the river now. This is the river. We used to fetch water from this pool with our buckets, carrying those buckets up there, carrying those buckets up there, where then we used to fill the deep tank. So this river is called Ngezi River. So guys, this is some of the things that I need to show you in as far as Mhondoro Ngezi is concerned. For now, I say thank you.